But today, we have a guest,
Name's Haas.
Haas. Now, Haas, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Well, not much to tell. I grew up working cattle and all that, riding horses, and now I guess I'm branching out a little.
Oh, of course, because you've never seen technology like this before, huh?
It's rare to come across in my vocation.
In your location.
Mm.
All right, today on this episode, we are going to be talking about the Mary Celeste, a ship without a crew, a ghost ship without a host, and most importantly, a ship without its captain. So let's get on to it. In late 1860, the shipyard of Joshua Dewis. Oh, by the way, a word from our sponsor. No sponsor.
Yeah, we're putting it in here. And that means we got to record that part.
It's a post edit. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
First, we're going to talk about a little bit of its history and how the Mary Celeste became the Mary Celeste. In late 1860, the shipyard of Joshua Dewis in Spencer's Island. That's a weird name for an island. Spencer's Island.
Spencer found
It was in Nova Scotia as well. Laid the keel. Keel? Laid the keel.
Keel, yeah, that's part of a ship, I think.
Laid the keel for the future Mary Celeste, constructed of local timber. Local timber. I don't know how to pronounce that word either. That one right there.
The brigantine? That's his brigantine.
The brigantine was Carvel built, launched on May 18th, 1861. And named Amazon, so it wasn't even named Mary Celeste at first.
No.
Registered at Porrisboro on June 10th, 1861. She measured 99.3 feet in length, 25.5 feet in breadth, and had a depth of 11.7 feet.
That's not very deep.
Right? With a gross tonnage of 198.42.
Well, she is heavy. That's a heavy girl right there.
Right? What is tonnage?
It's like tons. It says TONN. That's like tons. It's like 198 tons, I think.
So it's like tonnage.
That's yeah, like tonnage.
Owned by a local consortium, including Robert McLennan.
McClellan. You should know this. You're Irish.
That's a Scottish name.
Oh, fuck.
The first captain, Amazon's maiden voyage, encountered challenges including McLellan's death. Captain John Nutting
Nutting.
took over.
Why is his middle name's Nutting?
Nutting, he took over navigating further misadventures. In 1867, under William Thompson's command, Amazon was abandoned as a wreck after running aground in a storm at Cap Breton Island. Alexander McBean acquired her as a derelict on October 15th, 1867.
Now, that'd be derelict. But I do remember this story. She was the Amazon, and they had to basically scramble for money, like the whole ship's life. And so when it came down to it, they were forced to take a job during a storm season where they can't even insure that ship. So, like, the biggest issue here for them is they had to take this job, but they still got slammed by that storm, so they just had to, like, sell what was left of it, I guess.
I think you just said the next paragraph.
Oh, shit. I wasn't even reading all that.
All right, enough with the laughter. Within a month, the wreck was sold to a local businessman named McBean, and acquiring the wreck for $1,700. And wow, $1,700, the whole ship.
That was like $1 million back then. That's like 1870s money. That's like $2 million or some shit.
All right, where was I? Yeah, I know I'm all the way up there, but you said that it was
Yeah, you're right. I did say all that. Not as eloquently, but I did say all that.
Now we're gonna be on with the crew and the captains of the Mary Celeste. Born in Wareham, Massachusetts.
That's my bit.
Born in Wareham, Massachusetts, on April 24th, 1835, Benjamin Briggs was one of the sea captains Nathan Briggs' 5 sons. One of the sea captains Nathan Briggs' 5 sons.
You want to do another take on that one, boss?
It was worded wrong. I shouldn't have relied on GPT chat, bro.
That guy's gonna steal all our jobs.
2 of the sons, including Benjamin, became captains themselves. A devout Christian, Benjamin read the Bible regularly, unlike me, and was vocal about his faith.
I love the Bible.
Yeah.
Don't you say it.
Fuck Jesus. In 1862, he married his cousin, Sarah.
Hold up.
He married his cousin, Sarah Elizabeth Cobb.
Well, was she first or second?
It doesn't say, but they did have 2 children.
It depends on if she's first or second.
Does it actually matter?
Well, it helps.
Where you say you from again?
Whereabouts? Somewhere in the southeastern region of the United States of America, that'd be.
Sweet Home Alabama.
Yeah, that's a pretty good song now that you mention it, but it's real true to my roots.
Arthur. Yeah, the name Arthur. Arthur in September 1865, and Sophia Matilda in October 1870.
You sure you ain't had any substances to that, sir?
Look, to maintain life, I need to take certain things.
Insulin don't count.
I'm not talking about insulin. By the time of Sophia's birth, Briggs had gained high standing in his profession. While considering retiring and venturing into business with his brother Oliver, they instead invested their savings in different ships. Oliver in Julia A. Halleck, and Benjamin in the Mary Celeste. In why the fuck did I read it like that? In October 1872, Briggs, now captain of Mary Celeste, embarked on a voyage to Genoa with his wife and infant daughter, leaving his son under the care of his grandmother. Briggs carefully selected a crew, including his first mate, Albert G. Richardson, dick, second mate, Andrew Gilling, and steward, Edward William Head. Do you think he got a lot of head?
Dick and head. Now, if I'm correct, that says the 4 general seamen. If I'm correct here on my statement here.
The 4 the, the 4 general seamen were Germans. Ugh. Described as peaceable. I'm probably gonna cut that one out. The four general seamen were Germans described as peaceable and first-class sailors. Briggs expressed satisfaction with the ship and its crew, and his wife noted that the crew seemed capable at beginning of the voyage. In October 1872, Captain Briggs supervised the loading of Mary Celeste's cargo in New York City before embarking on a voyage to... Why do I feel like I just read this?
The power of the future. Robots are taking all our jobs, people.
Carrying Briggs, his family, and 7 crew members left New York Harbor after a brief delay due to uncertain weather. So we already see some bad things happening to the Mary Celeste. At the time, the Canadian brigantine De Gratia, commanded by Captain Morehouse. What is wrong with these fucking names?
They're old.
Waited nearby. Well, I mean, that name doesn't even make sense, bro. Why is your name Morehouse? Last names are...
That's his job. he worked at the Morehouse. Shit, if you were a cobbler, your name was Cobbler. If you made clothes, your name was Taylor. Dumb shit like that.
Right. Yeah. Right. Horse.
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 Horse. Same thing.
They waited nearby in Hoboken, New Jersey. Hoboken.
That sounds like a New Jersey name.
That sounds like a move in anime. Hoboken.
Only used by the homeless.
For a cargo destined for Geneva, both ships departed for Gilbert.
Let me look at this one. Hold up. Where is it? That says Gibraltar, my friend. Gibraltar.
All right, so if you're gonna be in more episodes, you should probably be the one reading.
You know, that's a fair point. But I'm not sure how this voice will come across in a serious manner discussing these mysteries.
Do I sound like I'm in a serious manner?
Buddy, hold on. I can read this next paragraph. All right. De Gratia encountered Mary Celeste on December 4th, 1872, midway between the Azores and Portugal. Captain Morehouse, suspecting something was wrong, sent 2 men to investigate. They found Mary Celeste deserted, with damaged sails, loose rigging, and missing lifeboats. The ship's log, dated November 25th, revealed its position near the Azores. Even though the interiors were wet and untidy, there were no signs of violence or fire. Captain Morehouse decided to bring the derelict into Gibraltar for salvage hearings. Reaching port on December 12th, Mary Celeste arrived the next morning and was impounded for further investigation. I read that like a news reporter, like a real country news reporter. like I was telling it like it happened yesterday.
Yes, yesterday in December 12th, 1872.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
See, my kind has been around since 1502.
1502.
Yes, sir.
Damn, you're old.
Well, I'm not old.
Huh?
Fuck. How you say this again?
Gibraltar.
Gibraltar. The Yo, who thought of words?
Oh, a lot of people, I bet. Damn.
The Gibraltar Salvage Court hearings. That sounded like. The Gibraltar Salvage Court hearings commenced on December 17th, 1872. I'm not editing any of this, by the way.
I think it's better that way.
Led by Sir James Cochrane.
Cock. Hold on. That does not say cock. Where is it? That says Cochrane. It does say cock, though. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, so James Cochrane. Frederick Sully Flood. What kind of fucking name?
Sully Flood.
Attorney General of Gibraltar.
Oh, buddy.
Gibraltar. Oversaw the proceedings display arrogance and stubbornness. Testimonies from DeVoe and Wright convinced Flood that a crime had occurred, leading to suspicion of foul play. On December 23rd, an examination of Mary Celeste revealed cuts on the bow and the potential blood traces of the captain's sword. However, scientific analysis learned disapproval of the blood theory.
So, in a slightly but not too coherent method, what I'm hearing here is they found blood on this ship when they were trying to auction it off. Or, I guess, I don't know. They were looking at that shit real close, and they found blood, though, so that's kind of fucked up. Because if that was the captain's sword and there's blood on the captain's sword, what happened to the captain? And where's the crew? Now, that's the question. Despite a lack of concrete evidence, Flood, convinced of crew mutiny and murder, sent reports to the Board of Trade in London. James Winchester. Now, that's a strong name.
Dude, why are we popcorning reading this right now?
Well, because sometimes the bad reader gets picked, and people want to listen to the good reader sometimes, all right? Owner of Mary Celeste faced challenges from Flood, who suspected a conspiracy. Scientific analysis disproving the blood theory. Now, hold up. I want to know what kind of scientific analysis they had in the 1870s.
They saw blood.
Uh-huh.
And they thought nothing of it.
It seemed they thought a little bit of it, at least. They said scientific analysis.
But was there really any scientific analysis?
Scientifically, they looked real close. They probably used a little magnifying glass, if I had to guess.
My brother, their scientific analysis is witchcraft.
They had magic to look at the sword?
No. I mean, what I'm saying is, like, their investigations will, like, it's not very scientific.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What do you mean scientific evidence? What are they doing back then? Like, holding a
later it
microscope?
disproved the blood theory.
They disproved how did they disprove the blood theory?
Well, I think that's the next fucking paragraph.
I'm sorry, don't let me get ahead of myself.
Despite a lack of concrete evidence,
I just read that part.
Despite Flood's Gibraltar.
Hey, is that the same paragraph twice in a row, slightly different?
Another theory suggested that Briggs and Morehouse collaborated in a salvage proceeds conspiracy. Though no evidence of their friendship exists, Hicks argued against such a plan, questioning why Briggs abandoned his son and why they'd create an attention-drawing mystery.
Yeah, so they sent him off to die on purpose so they could get insurance money. I'd do it.
Yeah, fuck this script.
Oh, man, dude, that one was rough. It just kept going and going and coming and going. My God.
All right. All right. Let's just
Go straight to the official webpage.
yeah, we're just gonna read from Wikipedia. We thought we were being smart.
Well, we're still not being too smart, but
Foul play. Proposed explanations. Some people think that they found out.
Hold on. AI was something, but ain't this just plagiarism? I mean, being honest.
No, we're gonna have our own commentary onto it. This is information.
I'll add a word every 5 words or so.
Yeah, so instead of the evidence in Gillibalter failed to support Flood's theory and murder and conspiracy, just say the evidence in Gillibarber failed to point to right things in Flood's theory and murder of conspiracy.
Which is bad. There we go. We made our own sentence. We can do that with every sentence.
Yeah, Horace.
Horse. Where?
Yet suspicion of foul play lingered. Flood and some newspapers report briefly suspected insurance fraud on part of Winchester on the basis that Mary Celeste had been heavily overinsured.
Overinsured. We didn't add anything. I added the same word. We're hopeless.
Wait, hold on. We got like 7 more fucking sentences. Winchester was able to refute these allegations, and no inquiry was instituted by the insurance companies that had issued the policies. In 1931, an article in the Quarterly Review suggested that Morehouse could have lain. The fuck is that?
Okay, so he was lying in wait for the Mary Celeste. He had lain. So he was lying in wait, and then he lured Briggs and his crew aboard Del Gratia and killed them all, which is, might I say, quite the accusation that this man killed a captain and his entire crew with a little ambush in the 1870s.
I don't understand that one either.
That one is absolutely wild.
I don't think foul play is an acceptable explanation.
Well, it's just not too realistic, is it? I mean, sure, there was blood, but everybody's gone. Everybody's just gone missing. One man didn't do that. That's the whole crew.
If they were all killed, then their bodies would still be on the boat.
And there'd be a lot more blood, you would think.
Mm-hmm. Not just on the sword.
Mm-hmm. In the bow.
In the what?
The bow.
What bow?
It was on the sword and the bow. According to AI, which I trust.
Paul Briggs argued that this theory ignores the fact that De Grecia was a slower ship. She left New York 8 days after Mary Celeste departed and would not have caught Mary Celeste before she reached Gibraltar.
Yeah, so there's an 8-day difference between when they
so
took off.
There's no way they could have met.
Unless they just like anchored for a few days or.
And even then, those anchors don't go that long.
I mean, yeah, they'd have to be close to the shore for sure.
And they weren't.
Unless they just closed their sails and floated there for a while in circles.
Bro.
just chilling in the ocean with the boys for a while.
In circles. Another theory posits. I'm a dyslexic man. Please don't come after me. That Briggs and Morehouse were partners in a conspiracy to share the salvage. I feel like we just read that.
Man, not even safe on Wikipedia.
Although, let's read the next paragraph. Although ruffian pirates were active off of the coast of Morocco. Now it's pirates.
Ruffians, too.
Of Morocco in 1870s, Charles Eddie Fay observes that pirates would have looted the ship, but the personal possessions, some of significant value of the captain and the crew, were left undisturbed. In 1925, not even 100 years ago, historian John Gilbert, of course it's a Gilbert, Lockhart, okay, Gilbert Lockhart, summarizes that Briggs slaughtered all on board and then killed himself in a fit of religious mania. Lockhart later spoke to Briggs' descendants and he apologized and withdrew this theory in a later edition of his book.
Yeah, that one's pretty nutty too, but
And it just didn't happen.
yeah. Oh, wow. But besides all that, killed himself. I'm sorry, but killed everybody and then killed himself.
Well, they did say that Briggs was a religious, like a very devout Christian man.
Yeah, well, I've met some crazy devout Christians, but I don't think they're going to kill everybody and then themselves because they think God is sad.
Because they think God is sad. Religious mania.
Hold up. Also, the one thing that really struck me with all that is you said, yeah, that's 1925. You said not even 100 years ago. Now, that'd be 99 years. So you're really playing unfairly with that one, I gotta say.
It was not even 100 years ago.
I mean, yeah, but barely. You got any other things you can say?
What do you want me to say, 100 years ago?
About 100 years ago. Not even 100 years ago. I'm thinking like 70, 50 years ago. No, this is literally at the, like, next year. You can't say that. You can't say that by next year.
This is what you've chosen to die on, the hill that you died on.
100 years, right? Right? And you're at the last possible year that you could ever say that. You're saying it now?
Okay. All right, where did it go? All right, now here's another theory that many people have, and it's called the lifeboat theory. Briggs' cousin Oliver Cobb. He married one of his cousins too. Suggested that the transfer of personnel.
Nothing wrong with that.
What?
No, keep going.
You're married, aren't you?
I can read this paragraph.
Oh, you want to read it?
I can read this paragraph. Yeah, so back to what he was saying. Oliver Cobb suggested that the transfer of personnel to the yawl may have been intended as a temporary safety measure. He speculated that DeVoe's report on the state of the rigging and the ropes at the ship's main halyard may have been used to attach the yawl to the ship, enabling the company. I'm going to be honest, I don't know too much about ships, so...
Just go ahead. I don't know anything about ships either.
This is just mind mess to me. Anyways, so I think what it's trying to say is they tied a lifeboat to the Mary Celeste and, like, tied it to it and then hid on the lifeboat because some shit was happening on the Mary Celeste and they didn't want to be involved with it and they were waiting for the danger to go away. And then the line snapped or parted, right? And their lifeboat drifted away with everybody on board. Now, Begg notes that it'd be illogical, whoever Begg is, he notes that it'd be illogical to attach the yawl to a vessel that the crew thought was about to explode or sink. Also, how would it explode? And if it was going to sink, yeah, it would be illogical. He's quite right about that. Now, MacDonald Hastings argues that Briggs was an experienced captain who would not have led a panicked abandonment, writing, "If the Mary Celeste had blown her timbers, damn, she would still have been a better bet for survival than the ship's boat," which is true. That's a big ass ship in the middle of the ocean, and you're trying to crawl in a small boat. If you're about to sink her, some shit's going down. I think I'd rather be on the ship, to be honest, and get a piece of log or something if it explodes. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if Briggs had rallied on the ship's boat for survival rather than on Mary Celeste, he would have been behaving like a frightened fool, which he is listed as an experienced captain. So that doesn't make too much sense, although he did marry his cousin. Which...
But, so basically the explanation is the alcohol was about to explode and they got on a lifeboat to try to get away from the explosion.
Wouldn't the explosion be quick and instant?
Yeah, but they want to be alive.
Well, no, that's not what I'm saying. I mean, it's alcohol, so it'd flare up in one big fire, but it wouldn't like keep burning unless the alcohol was spilled. I guess if the alcohol somehow spilled all over the ship.
And also, I don't think alcohol kept in wooden crates would explode.
Yeah, it just doesn't. I mean, I guess if the fumes built up, it would like flash fire. But that would be an instant. They wouldn't jump off an abandoned ship on a lifeboat if the fire happened and was
say
gone.
what kind of alcohol? Is it drinking alcohol? Is it?
I'm gonna assume drinking alcohol. This is the 1870s. All right, so a New York insurance appraiser named Arthur was leading investigator in sea mysteries in the early 20th century and wrote a similar lifeboats theory, stressing that only a single lifeboat was missing from the vessel. He discovered that the boat's rope was cut, not untied, which indicates that the abandonment of Mary Celeste was performed quickly. So they tied themselves off and then cut the rope. What do you make of that?
Wouldn't they be more likely to survive?
I guess, but what would be happening on the ship that'd make them want to do that? You're leaving all your supplies, you're leaving all your food, all your cargo, and all your money, and all your valuables.
If the fumes of the alcohol is leaking out, that could do some shit to your brain.
Yeah, I guess if there were fumes that were constantly and
Well, I guess it would be more lethal fumes than psychedelic fumes.
well, and it's mentioned when the ship was first built, before it was named Mary Celeste, it was built with cargo in mind over crew. So the crew had very tight spaces that were unpainted and undecorated, and the cargo was the main focus. They were carrying a bunch of cargo down there, and the crew quarters were these cramped areas. There couldn't be much ventilation. It is possible that they might be inhaling a lot of the vapors and just kind of have an effect on them somehow.
Yeah, no, that's true. I don't know, but like, even the captain as well, because the captain is gonna have better quarters.
Yeah, the captain did have, and it was refurbished. They added more cargo room, and I believe they made the captain's quarters bigger. So the captain had good quarters.
Yeah, so he couldn't have been affected.
What
if that
if-
was the issue?
All right. This paints a strange story. Let me finish this paragraph before I start making theories, though. All right. So, the ship's log contains several mentions of ominous rumbling and small explosions from the hold. Although cargoes of alcohol naturally emit explosive gas, just like we were saying over here, just had to read 5 seconds more, and such sounds are commonly heard. So, this was something they were used to. He supposes that there had been a more intense explosion, and in response, a sailor ventured below deck with an open flame or lit cigar that ignited the fumes, causing an explosion violent enough to dislodge the top of the hatch, which had been found in an unusual position. Putman also postulated that in panic terror, the captain, his family, and the crew boarded the lone lifeboat, cut the rope, and abandoned Mary Celeste. Now that just don't make sense. The explosion happens, it'd be real quick. You don't have enough time to tie yourself off on a lifeboat, lower that thing, get away. It wouldn't be on fire. It would just be a big flare up.
Well, not to cut a little bit later into the story. Later into the story, which I took note of, a scientist in 2005 did an experiment that, a smaller experiment that was to prove this theory right. Because later on, the men in this time, to prove that theory wrong, the lifeboat theory wrong, is that there wasn't that much damage, and there wasn't that much burn damage on the ship, so it couldn't have just exploded. And later on in 2005, a scientist basically disproved that and showed that there was in fact a way. Oh, what the fuck just happened? There was in fact a way. Actually, I think I just found it.
That still don't explain the blood. Which, it is a ship. You're on the ocean. Blood can happen out there. But to be specifically on the captain's sword, unless he's stabbing a crew member, what's he doing?
Actually, this is kind of weird.
Yeah.
So far from what you've read, what do you think of this? From everything that's been going on, and
now, here's the scene that is setting in my mind. We're on a ship that is specialized for cargo. The crew environment is already as terrible as it can be. Small, cramped, unpainted. It is meant to make money. That is what the ship is engineered for. Captain has his own special quarters, but also this ship is getting new captains constantly. Captains are just trying to meet quota, and if they can't meet it, they have an accident or something like that, which they're forced in these situations just to try and, make enough money to keep going. Those captains are booted out by the shareholders. They hire a new captain. Well, you got a crew that might have been with the ship for a while, and they keep getting new captains, don't have much respect for them. They're being affected by fumes. They're living in cramped conditions, overworked, tired, all of this shit. And you're hearing, because you're transporting the cargo, it's alcohol. And you're hearing these little bumps and explosions. And it's just, it's driving them insane. Probably lack of sleep contributes to everything. I feel like there might have been a crew mutiny. But also, since that doesn't disprove the fire theory, it could very well be that the crew killed the captain, just completely went just tired of it, nuts, the fumes, everything just drove them to a point where they all thought this was the best option, is to kill the captain. They take him out with his own sword, dump him off the ship. Well, maybe even possibly a couple days later, at some point, the crew without a captain trying to operate this ship, someone fucks up. The fumes get lit. The deck goes on fire. They don't know what to do. The captain would know what to do, right? The captain is the one who's supposed to keep calm and send the orders. But these guys aren't used to being the guy in charge. They all just think, let's get on the lifeboat. They all gather up on the same lifeboat and get on it. They float out, leave everything because they're panicked, they're scared, they don't have time to grab their shit. Everything is flaming, the inside of the deck and the bottom is flaming, and this ship's going down in their minds, and they just go off. And then it gets to the point where they think there's no other way. It's either go down with the ship or cut the rope, and they take their chances.
You and that goofy ass smile, bro. All right. Interesting theory. I think they hopped on a living island.
All right. I need to know where this is coming from.
So, if you look up online and look up the map of European sea creatures, it'll give you a map of where these creatures are throughout Europe and stuff. So they have and it's not just the sea creatures, it's also land creatures as well. Where they're at and where the last log was positioned and where it was discovered, it was near an island for the last log. And around that area is I believe they're called Ceratins. It's Ceratin area. And Ceratins are these huge sea creatures that are so huge they have an island on top of them.
Do they go underwater?
Yes, they do.
Oh, damn.
So, we never see any of these people again. Now, your theory was that they hopped off and probably, tried to get on their best time, on their own.
The expanse of the ocean is quite mystifying.
Yeah. But what if? Because they have a last log position, and that last log never mentioned anything about mutiny.
Well, I don't think he'd have time to write it. If
Well,
he was getting stabbed by a bunch of people.
Well, what I'm saying is, you would think that you would know what's going on amongst your crew.
That's fair. If they were really going crazy from fumes, he'd probably be seeing some signs of the unrest.
Mm-hmm. So, there was no mention of a potential mutiny within their logs. And the last log that he had, it was just about them, all is going good.
Mm-hmm.
What if they see an island, they notice the fumes that are happening, and there is damage on the ship? So what if they see an island and dock at that island because their ship is damaged? They see that there's nobody on this island and that it's moving away from the ship slightly. And they start to panic because now they're about to lose their ship. And of course, this island is from America to England, so any passing ship they'll notice, and they could probably set a signal, unless that island went underwater.
Mm-hmm. So they cut off the lifeboat, go to the island, ideally to kind of scope it out and set up a place to repair their ship and take stock of their situation. And next thing they know, the water's rising, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be pretty quick, I imagine.
I mean,
And, when you're in the ocean, with all the currents and waves and shit, especially
they're dead.
just open ocean,
They're dead.
they could see the ship right there in front of them and they'd never get to it. They could never climb up it if they did. They'd be fucked.
Although the one thing that goes against what I'm saying is that probably not all of them are going to leave the ship.
That is fair, but what if the ship, see, they are on an island, right? Or they think they're next to an island, right?
Yep.
They think they're next to an island. It should be shallow enough to anchor a ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Logically, they might have lowered the anchor and all went together.
Yeah. And it's not an actual island, so there's nothing to actually anchor to.
And because they're in these small, cramped quarters, situation's awful. I wouldn't want to be the guy to stay behind. Honestly, I wouldn't want to be the guy stuck on the boat. I want to go on the land, play in the sand a little bit, get my feet kind of wet in the water, and enjoy the sunshine and the earth.
Get the sand in between your toesies.
Yeah. Just like enjoy being on land, even if it's just a little shitty land in the middle of the ocean. Enjoy land for a second.
But what if you saw one of these things? Like, what if you saw, like, an island and thought it was an island? It turns out it was just a huge fucking fish.
If I saw an island sink into the ocean, my first thought wouldn't be big fish.
Tsunami?
Something like that. I don't even know what I'd think. I think I'd sit there like, well, shit. I think I'd sit there and just kind of wait to die, see if it happens.
Just contemplate death.
And it's like, yep, it's coming. Whatever's happening is coming.
Well, like always, we have talked about a story that begs the question, what happened? And tonight, it is 1:13 a.m.
Well, this morning.
It's morning.
It is morning. Boy, we are awake. Wow, look at all those lines. Look at us go. We made so many lines tonight, folks. This is beautiful.
We are reaching the end of tonight. It has been 45 minutes. So,
45 minutes.
yep. Now, as always, I appreciate everybody who watches us. We had 8 views last episode.
Hey, here's going for 9.
Let's go for 9. Now, appreciate all of you. And please, a great thanks to my guest for coming on to the podcast, hopefully coming on more with his own mysteries to talk about.
Oh, absolutely. I have seen lots and lots of things in the wilderness of the North American spectrum.
North American spectrum.
Uh-huh.
I'd love to hear more about that, but tonight we are going to have to say goodbye. This is all a test to see how it goes, you know.
Oh, it's been a pleasure, and I appreciate all 9 of you that'll be hearing on this one.
Let's make it to 10.
Oh, 10, damn. We're really ambitious.
All right. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.
Have a good
or
one,
listening.
y'all.
Yep.